What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Duels Down Under. My name is James and we have an amazing Dragon Maid deck profile for you today. During the month of October, I am hopefully going to be bringing you at least one new deck profile every single week. So let me know down in the comments what deck profiles you would like to see so I can get to work on those straight away. I have a lot of cards at my disposal, and the ones that I don't have I should be able to procure pretty easily. I don't want to keep you waiting too long, but the one thing I do want to say before we get into the profile is that if you do want to buy any of the cards that are in this deck, feel free to use my TCG player link in the description down below. Anytime you click on that, it's going to help support the channel, help me grow bigger and be able to buy better equipment to bring you top quality Yu-Gi-Oh content on YouTube. We'll put the extra deck to the side right now and we will get into the main deck. First of all, we are running 3 of the newest Dragon Maid. We are running 3 copies of Chamber. Yes, I arguably believe this is the best card in the deck. I know a lot of people out there still believe Kitchen is good, but being able to grab one of your spells and traps from the graveyard or from the deck is pretty special. What I do like about this card is that the fact that it can actually special summon a level 7 or higher Dragon Maid from the deck, from your hand or graveyard, which means if you have a copy of House or Shio in the graveyard, you are also able to revive those during the battle phase. The next thing we are bringing is Kitchen, 3 copies of this. This allows you to grab one of the monsters from your deck, and of course you have to send one to the graveyard as well. It's a great way to start getting those big Dragon Maid cards out of your deck and into the graveyard to get you ready for your battle phase. The one limiting thing here is that you can only special summon a level 8 Dragon Maid at the start of the battle phase, which is quite unfortunate. So yeah, it's usually either the Ernest, the Lopa or the Tinket that you are bringing out. We are running 3 copies of Parlor Dragon Maid. This is the Foolish Burial. This is the way you get your spells and traps into the graveyard, your big monsters as well. This is a pretty good first turn play if you've got this one. The last monster we are running is a Nurse Dragon Maid. We are only running 1 copy of this because we don't want to see it in the early game. We want to be able to special summon this off of our LP or our Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres to start recurring some resources during our opponent's turn. So being able to special summon this off of a Heavenly Spheres after a negate, and then of course then maybe going into either a chamber or a kitchen to start recurring a few more resources that way. It's a pretty good idea, and I wouldn't run any more than 1 copy of Nurse in the main deck. For the big Dragon Maid monsters, we are running 1 copy of Tinket, 1 copy of Lopa, and 1 copy of Ernest. I have considered bumping Ernest up to more than 1 copy, but at this point, this is enough. We are also running the copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, the pseudo Dragon Maid, if you like, or the Dragon Butler in this case. So what the play is here is to start putting these guys in the graveyard as quickly as possible, so during the battle phase you're able to special summon those out. Hopefully, if you haven't already used the Baby Dragon Maid effect in the first couple of main phases, during the end when it's special summoned, what you're able to do is then start recurring and recruiting some more of your resources by when you special summon those little Dragon Maids back to your side of the field. And of course the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, it's too good when you're running LP in a deck. If you do need to start getting some resources out to go into some link climb plays, you can do that using Red Eyes Darkness Metal at the cost of also only banishing 1. When you see it in your hand, it's also not a huge deal. We are playing several hand traps in the deck, and the most important one in my opinion is Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. Not only is Phantasme a really excellent way to fix a broken hand, you can actually use this as a material to bring out Dragon Maid Shio. Its requirements are a Dragon Maid monster and a level 5 or higher, and just so has it that Phantasme is a level 7. So being able to get that Shio on board early on is really important. That's what starts recurring those resources. It'll give you a negate on the board as well as allow you to hopefully go into a house and then start recurring some pops and some plays from there. Supplementing the Phantasmase with, of course, 3 Ash Blossoms, self-explanatory, and I'm also choosing to run 3 Ghost Ogre. I really want to get rid of what my opponent has on the field. Negating the effects aren't as important as probably clearing the board out, so if I can get rid of what they have on the field using Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, I think I'm in a really good situation. That's it for the main deck monsters, guys. I'm pretty sure that's about 23 in total, running 9 hand trap monsters and the 14 dragons. Spell cards, we are running 2 copies of Dragon-Maid Hospitality, an excellent card. It acts as a Monster Reborn from your graveyard, but also allows you to send one from your deck to the graveyard with the same attribute but a different level. That's pretty unreal if you ask me. You can bring back your Kitchen, send your Tin Ket, you can bring back your Nurse and send your Ernest, or bring back your Parlor and send your Lopa, but with the Parlor you'll also get to send another Dragon-Maid monster. We're also running a copy of Changeover. Changeover is a great one to see in the graveyard quite early. All you need to do is bring back a Dragon-Maid card from or Dragon-Maid monster, I believe. Dragon-Maid monster. You bring that back to your hand and you can actually add Changeover from the graveyard to your hand. Now you might be wondering why I'm only running 2 copies of each of those, and that's because I'm running a copy of Dragon-Maid Welcome. Once you've got all of your resources in your hand, 1 copy of Hospitality, 1 copy of Changeover, and of course your tidying that you can start using from the graveyard, Welcome is a really, really good way to start bringing back some of those spell cards. If you control 2 face-up Dragon-Maid monsters, you can then freely bring back one of those Dragon-Maid spell or traps from your graveyard to the hand. We're supplementing this spell package with arguably one of the best and most broken spell cards in the game for dragons, World Legacy Guard Dragon. It allows you to get your Pisty and LP plays off quite well, letting you rearrange your columns to get those link arrows where you need them to be. But in this case, the effect that I think is most valuable is, of course, the Monster Reborn effect. Being able to bring a Dragon-Maid card from the graveyard back to the field and use its effect is absolutely busted. Being able to recur those resources and hopefully going in before your opponent can actually do anything about it. We're also running a single copy of Called by the Grave. Now that Called by the Grave is considered dropping this out and maybe playing a copy of Monster Reborn or a copy of Foolish Burial, World Legacy Succession, something like that, but I really don't see the point. I really love the way Called by the Grave, if you see it, you can actually use it. Your opponent is going to try and negate any sort of searching that you do with an Ash Blossom, especially the Chamber or the Kitchen. It's pretty... They're too good not to try and stop. So if you've actually got Called by the Grave in your hand, you can use that, and usually you can go off without any sort of interruptions after that. Onto the trap cards. We are running a few traps in this deck. Of course, like mentioned earlier, we are maxing out on the new trap card, Dragon-Maid Tidying. This thing is absolutely broken. If you haven't read it, I will leave it here for you to read. Any card that says special summon, if you've got a house on the field and you can return a dragon monster, not so much just a Dragon-Maid, but a dragon monster, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position. So if you've got a copy of house plus another dragon monster on field, you're in a pretty good situation there. You're in a pretty good situation. We're also running 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to add to the hand traps. That gives us a total of 12. And rounding out is a good tech choice this format, Ice Dragon's Prison. Being able to special summon something from your opponent's graveyard and then banish that as well as something with the same type is pretty good. It's a great way to get rid of the Golden Lord. It's a great way to get rid of any sort of other dark dragons that you know that are going to pose an issue for you. And the best part is it's a trap card. There aren't many people out there running Soul Track Negate, so if you can bait out some of the effects, you can actually do some damage with Ice Dragon's Prison. That's it for the main deck, guys. We're going to get into the extra deck. Starting off with the Dragon Maid fusions, we are running 2 copies of House Dragon Maid. This is amazing. In the standby phase, you can target a Dragon Maid card you control, and you can special summon a Dragon Maid monster from your hand or graveyard 1 level lower or 1 level higher. So if you have another one of your baby Dragon Maids on board, you can usually bring out either the Nurse or the Chamber, depending what's in your graveyard and where you want to go with level modulation there. To back up the house, we're running 2 copies of Dragon Maid Shio. Now, Dragon Maid Shio is the first turn play you want to run. If it's on the field, it gets you a negate by returning to the extra deck. When it returns to the extra deck, you get to special summon out a copy of House Dragon Maid. And then House Dragon Maid, if you return any other Dragon Maid monsters to your hand, you get to start popping cards of your opponents. So that is always going to be pretty good. Also, during the standby phase, Dragon Maid Shio will give you a special summon from the graveyard as well, and there are no clauses or no other issues with that. Finally, we are running a copy of Borreload Furious Dragon. This is a generic Dark Dragon fusion monster which has a pretty good quick effect. It says you can target 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. It does target, but oh well, what can you do? That's it for the fusion monsters, just a quick 5. Now the link monsters, guys. We are running the Guard Dragon package. I think it's very important, as well as 2 copies of Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres. Now there are 2 really great ways to get your Nurse on the field, and Hieratic Seal of Heavenly Spheres is one of those. The other way is to use LP to bring it out of your deck like that, but Heavenly Spheres is a great way. We are running a single copy of, we'll get into our dragons first and then we'll go into our generic stuff. You probably saw the Almirage there. We're running a single copy of Crossroads Dragon, mainly for the arrows. If you can get something on board with your Almirage, and then you can put Crossroad Dragon down with the LP and the arrows and stuff like that. It is pretty good. It is a great way to start using those arrows very carefully. Finally, we're running a link for Borrelsword Dragon. Using those Guard Dragon effects, it does mean you are locked into dragons, so if you are looking to go for that big OTK push, you do need that Borrelsword. We are running another link for that we will get to in a second. Onto the more generic stuff. Like I said, the Almirage, copy of Phoenix, and a copy of Unicorn. These guys don't need much explaining. They've been in games for so long now. They're just great removal. And of course, the 1 copy of Access Code Talker. If you've got a board full of monsters and you start needing to clean out your opponent's board, Access Code Talker is the way to do that. Just remember, if you've used the Guard Dragon effects, you are locked into dragons and won't be able to access the Access Code Talker. No pun intended there, guys. That is it for the main and the extra deck, guys. What I will do is I will show you my side deck, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I have recently started up a new Patreon, and if you would like to see what I am running in the side deck that I have sitting right here, it will need you to go over and subscribe to my Patreon. I will put a link in the description. It is pretty cheap, and all of my side deck information will be put over there in the future. I know it's not much, but it is some extra content that you guys are going to be able to enjoy in the future.